Welcome to today's episode of Dinner with a Side of Murder. On tonight's menu, we have Puerto Rican beef stew, Sancocho, with a side of the Black Widow of Puerto Rico. It's a tale as old as time. Millionaire real estate developer meets beautiful beauty queen. They fall in love, get married, and he gets murdered. It was September 2005 when Aria Vasquez Rijos and Adam Anhang were attacked outside the Pink Skirt nightclub in Old San Juan, Puerto Rico. Adam Anhang was from Winnipeg, Canada. He was a real estate developer that moved to Puerto Rico because he saw the potential the island had. He helped develop hotels and nightclubs. It was at one of those nightclubs where he met Aria Vasquez Rijos, a former Miss Puerto Rico Petite. She was everything he could ever want. She was gorgeous, smart, charismatic, funny, and he was everything she could ever want. Rich. They dated briefly and then got married in a secret ceremony. This is when things started to turn. Aria began to show who she truly was. She was mean, spiteful, and she would spend all of Adam's money. Adam finally got tired of it and decided they needed to separate, and they began living in separate homes, much to Aria's anger. One September evening, Adam called his head of security, and he told him he wanted to meet with Aria and serve her with divorce papers. He then went on to say he wanted to do it alone without his security. The head of security advised him not to do it alone because he didn't trust Aria, but Adam assured him it was going to be fine. So Adam called Aria, set up an appointment, and she told him she wanted to meet at the nightclub he had bought for her, the Pink Skirt. So they met. He served her with the papers, and everything went really well, and it almost seemed like old times. She told him that she wanted to go outside and start walking around to stretch their legs a little bit and get some fresh air. Then out of nowhere, a man jumped out, grabbed Adam, threw him to the ground, picked up one of the blue cobblestones from the street, and began beating him repeatedly over and over. And then he pulled out a knife and began stabbing Adam repeatedly. He then turned his sights to Aria. He grabbed her and threw her to the ground, and then took off running. According to a source, Aria was just standing there watching it happen. She didn't scream. She didn't try to fight him. And the last words that came out of Adam's mouth were, "Run, my love, run." Adam would later succumb to his injuries and die, but Aria only sustained very minor injuries. When the police began to investigate, they arrested a man named Jonathan Roman Rivera. He was a 22-year-old dishwasher at the Pink Skirt, and they just chalked it up to him being an angry, disgruntled employee. He was convicted and sentenced to 105 years in prison. This verdict pleased everyone, including Aria. And after the trial was over, she quietly moved to Italy. While in Italy, Aria sued Adam's family because she didn't inherit what she thought she deserved. Ultimately, she lost because it was proven that Adam was trying to divorce her. And in the case of a divorce, due to their prenup, she would get nothing. And she didn't. 8 months later, the FBI was contacted by a man named Alex Pabon Colon. He informed them that he was the one that killed Adam, and he had been promised $3 million by Aria if he could do it, before they got divorced. By this point, Arya had already fled the country to Italy, and she had met another man in Italy, and she became pregnant and had twins. Now, the FBI diligently tried to get Arya extradited, but according to Italian law, if you are the mother of Italian citizens, you can't be extradited. But when her partner found out that she was a murderer, he promptly kicked her out and took full custody of the children. Arya was again on the run, and she fled to the Jewish embassy and claimed she was of Jewish descent and just wanted to get back to Israel. But they denied her because there was no proof that she was actually a Jewish woman. She once again fled the country, and she ended up in Spain. It was in Spain that she was caught and thrown into a Spanish prison. However, getting someone extradited from Spain seemed to be extremely difficult, and it was going to take about 8 to 9 months. While she was in prison, she got pregnant and had a child. The Spanish government even allowed her to marry the person who impregnated her while in prison. And according to Spanish law, she assumed she also wouldn't be able to get extradited. And it worked for a while. However, in 2015, she was extradited back to Puerto Rico with her 1-month-old baby. But at the request of Spain, they made Puerto Rico promise they wouldn't seek the death penalty, to which they agreed. While in prison, Arya's child was put into Child Protective Services with non-family members. Arya went to trial on October 3rd, 2018. Arya, along with her mother, her sister, and her ex-boyfriend were all convicted of conspiracy and murder of Adam and Hank. And then, on March 15th, several months later, 2019, they were all sentenced to life. And to this day, that's where they remain. Enjoy your meal. Good night.